We're now live on YouTube. Ooh. Oh, that's the rock star now.
Correcting, connecting.
We've got live over here. It says live. It says live on my side. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. We're definitely live.
All right. Now remember, turn down your volume or we will bleed into each other.
Okay.
Just on the YouTube side. And let me go here. And go to descriptions and all right, everybody. Welcome. My name is Lord Gates from Rapture Radio, and I am joined via Zoom from North Kakalaki. We're going all the way up the East Coast. We're going past Maryland, coming up through Connecticut, going along the side there, saying hello. What's up, Rhode Island? Going up the top there. And we finally reached, where have we reached? Have we reached Massachusetts?
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Where?
Weymouth.
Weymouth?
Weymouth.
I went there once. I went once to Weymouth. Once. We're joined with Oxblood Forge. What's up, everybody? Oh, the Forge.
Forge is
Where's
here.
my Viking cup? I should have my Viking flask with me for this. I'll grab it. It's over there. I'll grab it. I know. I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah, Oxblood Forge. Let's go right around the room. Everybody introduce yourself. Say what you do in the band. And tell me your favorite death metal album.
Ooh, okay. I'll go first. He's wearing a death shirt, so he's gonna go death. Yeah. No. Whoa. Rob Leroy. I play guitar. My favorite death metal album is Hate Eternal, I Monarch. Yeah, man.
Cool. Very cool.
I am Ken McKay. I am vocal for Oxford Forge. I'd say my favorite death metal album is Entombed, Left Hand Path.
Nice. Very cool.
I'm Greg Goliath. Play bass. Favorite death metal album of all time? For Victory Bolt Thrower.
Wow.
16 points. 5.
I'm the newest member of this band since 2018. I'm Eric. I do drums and the keyboards on the album. And my favorite death metal album is At the Gates, Slaughtered at the Soul.
What do you think of the new? What do you think of the new At the Gates?
Ooh. I don't equally as love it, but this stuff is on par with what they do, and it's much better than whatever we're calling death metal these days for me. So
yeah, his voice was totally different on this, and people are like, "Oh, he's kind of struggling." Bullshit, dude. How old is the guy? I mean,
I dig it.
Yeah, I dig it too. I think it's one of the better releases to come out this year so far.
Yeah.
Speaking of releases, I mean, woo! The reason why we're putting this whole thing together is you guys. There it is. Here, bring it right up to the camera, Kenneth. Put it right up to the front there. See that? That is it right there. That's called a CD, my friends. In case you don't know, all you youngins, that's a CD right there.
We like vinyl. Maybe we'll see vinyl soon.
maybe, yeah.
It's called Decimator, and it's going to hit the airwaves tomorrow on the 18th. And 19th or 18th? What is today?
18th. Oh, tonight, if you want.
Yeah.
And now is this? Are you guys putting this out yourself?
Yep. So
Okay. What was the impetus behind that? Did you want all control over it? Did you shop it out at all for any record labels or anything?
No, we put out all of our previous releases ourselves. I'm a big fan of DIY anyways, but honestly, me personally didn't think to shop it just because we were still recording it. So it's on our own label, Heavy Crunch, which is super imaginative, I know.
Heavy Crunch. That sounds like a metalhead cereal. Ma, can you give me some Heavy Crunch and some oat milk? Ma.
Yeah, I really like the old Peace Cells video where he's like,
Yeah.
"How much you eat real cereal? This is cereal."
Real.
I think we need the Heavy Crunch logo with Captain Crunch.
Yeah, so it's just that's what we did, and we've just started shopping it around now for distribution. And potential anybody else that wants to sort of deal with us coming up. But it's just for me, it's just easier for us to do it ourselves. So
that's a big thing though, man, with the guys like local, your local crew with like More in the Light and When the Deadbolt Breaks, they're on Argonauta, and it just kind of fell, they shopped around, fell in their lap. But Scott Harrington's doing great work with Salt of the Earth Records. Is there anything you can hint at that you would kind of like? Is there a label you'd like to kind of throw things at, or is that kind of a work in progress?
I mean, my dream would be on Metal Blade, but that's just.
I really think it's anything. I really think that we've been sending our electronic press kit to whomever we can locate to try to see what sticks to the refrigerator like spaghetti almost. As of right now, it sounds like either there's so much going on during COVID, everybody's trying to release an album. All these record labels have too much on their plate, or we're already trying to release it ourselves. They want to release something brand spanking new that we're not trying to release. So it's those things kind of working. Yeah. I don't want to say against us, but basically, right?
Yeah, there's such a coming influx of new music. I mean, to that point, Conclave.
Right.
Our buddy Conclave.
Great record.
One of my favorite local bands.
Amazing record. Amazing record. Freaking amazing.
So I just think there's going to be everybody had a chance to woodshed over the past year and work on new stuff, and now it's all coming out at the same time.
Yeah, this is like the COVID pandemic babies. 9 months later, a year later. Look what I have. I have a new death metal album. I have a new crust album. I have a new punk album. And it's like, dude, being a metal fan, it's great because it's coming in all different areas. And it's like my calendar is like work calendar, birthdays, and then over here it's all the new releases. It's everything that's coming out, what label, vinyl, cassette, whatever's being popular at the time. I want to give a quick shout out to Josh Tate from Halitosis. What's up, Josh? I saw you in the chat there saying hello. You guys are kind of monitoring the chat as well, right? You can see what's going on there. Yep. We're on YouTube. So what's up there? What's up, Norman Chipman? Saying hi to Rob. Thanks for joining us here.
I played in a cover band with him, Faded Halo, and he plays in a local cover band called Moxie, which is great.
What is it called?
Cheers and hail from YouTube. What's up, Conclave?
Yo, hello.
What was the name of that band? Moxie?
Moxie, yeah.
Moxie. Okay.
Are you monitoring Facebook or YouTube?
I got the YouTube
okay,
chat.
I'm gonna check. Cool. You got YouTube. I'm gonna look on Facebook on my end.
Well, what I kind of want to do here is I want to take a little break from the talking. We're gonna go to the first track on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen like this and like this. Oh, sharing the screen. Oh, will you look at that background? What is that?
I'm not saying Ken posted for that picture, but Ken may have posted for that picture.
Who's the dragon?
It's just amazing. I mean, I was talking to Ken about this. I thought it would be a good idea if you guys went on tour with When the Deadbolt Breaks and Buzzard Canyon, and you got like a piece of shit van, okay? And you just had someone put that on the side of it, like a Merlin Excalibur thing, Oxblood Forge on one side, and on the other side could be When the Deadbolt Breaks, their logo, and then the trim on the back around the license plate could say Buzzard Canyon.
Nice.
Yeah. And that could be your tour, man. You could just go up and down the coast like, oh my God, who are these? Who the fuck are these guys, man? What are they, like warriors? Or are they Man of War guys?
Yeah. I see a van like that on the way to practice most of the time, and talking when we practice. It's an old 70s van with a Viking Conan kind of guy.
Yeah.
I want that van. But
who did this artwork for you?
This is my Uncle Brad Frankfelter. He does bfillustration.com. I'm gonna check that out. He does a lot of artwork like this, but he does a lot of artwork for like science fiction novelists. And somehow they all contact him to try to use imagery. So what he did was he had an actual person show up for a photo shoot that kind of had the build and the look for this Decimator character. So he did digital Photoshop of that character and built it all around this guy that we're calling the Decimator.
You call them the Decimator. Und Saga und Okay, on that note, I'm going to mute you guys. I'm going to mute myself. We're going to listen to the first track. You want to tell me what the first track is here?
Into the Abyss.
And you guys you actually have a lyric video for this, right?
Yes, sir.
Who did the lyric video for this?
I did part of it in a company called Red Bridge Media.
Okay.
In this area, did part of that as well.
Well, they can check it out. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's Into the Abyss. But right now, we're gonna go live to the music here. Let me just put that on mute. And this is the first track off of the upcoming Oxblood Forge release. Decimator is called Into the Abyss, and the album comes out tomorrow, June 18th. Here we go.
Stand up, hey. Stand behind you. Yes, room.
All right, we're gonna pause for a second. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I don't think the audio is coming through. So let me try this again. Hold on a second. I think I have to add the audio. Let's see. Sharing my screen here. Oh yeah, I think it is there. Okay, let's try this again. Let's put this down. Turn this down here. Okay, turn that off. Bear with me, gang. This is a work in progress.
I can dig it.
12 people strong. Thank you for joining.
Can you dig it? All you can see is my chest and my head. I am the headless man.
All right, here we go. Let's try this again here. We're gonna do this. You guys can still hear me okay, right? Thumbs up. Okay, I can hear you guys. All right. We are going to make sure that the share screen, multiple participants can share. That's what I got to do. Multiple participants can share. There we go. All right, that's going to work now. And let me know if we're going to do a little sharing here. Here's a sharing. And we're going to do screen, whiteboard, phone, Windows, booster, Oxblood Forge. Make sure we have some audio. There we go. And share. All right, let's try this again. Thank you for bearing with me, gang.
Hello.
And let's premiere the first track off of the new Oxblood Forge Decimator. This is Into the Abyss. Hit it.
On and on we will roll. Oh, riders on the night. Yeah, this world we will devour. Death riders on the night. Yeah, falling from the skies. On and on we roll, over barren plains we must. On and on we roll, trampled under the horseman's vengeance is ours tonight. Tear across the wastelands, hell-bent on dominance, war-lasting raiders. This world will take by force, a world alight with fire. Invaders blooded by the sword, crushing their blows. Death riders on the night. Yeah, this world we will devour. Death riders on the night. Yeah, falling from the sky. On and on we roll, over barren plains we march. On and on we roll, trampled under the horseman's still waters their souls upon their annihilation. Decimation, beast of the earth, hell comes to light. Death angels shall descend on a field of fire. Detonation cracks the earth, fall into the abyss. Death riders on the night. Yeah, this world we will devour. Death riders on the night. Yeah, falling from the skies. Die, die, die with us. Die, die, die with us. Die, die, die with us tonight. Die, die, die with us. Die, die, die with us. Die, die, die with us tonight. Wow! Wow! Die, die, die with us!
Yeah. Woo. Oh man. All right, let's bring everybody back online. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh man, that was
I can't believe.
so I was talking with Charlie from When the Deadbolt Breaks and all the other 1,000 bands that he's been in, and he's like, Charlie's like, dude, have you seen or heard anything about Oxblood Forge recently? Because I guess you guys played a gig. Where was the gig? Plainfield?
Yeah, it was the
Horsebrook Cafe in Plainfield.
Horsebrook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Horsebrook. Yeah. So he was there. He saw you. He's like, oh my God. He's like, Ken lets out this scream in one of these songs. Like, like he's like electrocuting him, like, ah. And he's like, it's just unbelievable. He's like, going from the last album to this album was like a massively huge leap. I have to ask, what was the overall theme that you're going for with Decimator?
Okay, so I'll make it brief. Basically, we had two other members of the band. They left, and I told Ken, a while before that, I'm like, I really just want to play metal. Like, no, I don't even care. I just want to play metal. Like, it's what I listen to. It's what I enjoy. I appreciate all types of music, but I like metal. And then they left, and I'm like, all right, you know what?
Metal riffs.
Metal riffs. And and we were talking about it before, and like my big thing was like, I went back, and even when we were recording, it was Judas Priest, Defenders.
Yeah, totally.
Defenders of the Faith, Screaming for Vengeance. You know, Judas Priest was my big thing because I know Ken can sing. I heard him sing.
Right.
So I wanted to do, okay, if we're going to do heavy, I want to be heavy with huge hooks. So stuff that Ken can sing over, but God damn it, I want to play some guitar solos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get back to the original pioneers of metal. I even hear some Maiden in there. I hear some Night Demon in there. Just the channeling is all over the place. And I'm sorry, what is your drummer's name? What's your drummer's name again?
You're right, okay, Eric.
Fucking stellar job on Skins, man. Coming from a fellow drummer, flawless. Like, you carry every song is different and different. It's got different flavors, different beats, different styles, but the whole thing as a nutshell seems like you were like, you know, we're gonna play some goddamn metal. We're gonna go back to our roots.
And that was the thing, is like Eric tried out, and I think what made me click was we started jamming Rush, and Eric was like,
nice.
Boom, 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 boom. And he's in the band.
Yeah.
He's good. And that's why, like, there's like on I think it's on Decimator itself, he actually has like his drum. Is it Decimator, the drum solo?
Well, there was one review that happened that said not quite a drum solo, a little drum break.
But it's like we give him a drum break because the kid's got chops. So it's you know, it's like one of those things in chops. And then I also have to mention, we've got Greg over here who's got more metal in his veins than a lot of people. I mean, as you saw, we got a picture of him
with Cliff Burton. Yeah, hanging out with Cliff Burton at the channel. Certain what 19? What, you know? There's a podcast. There's a podcast about the channel, and they were talking about Metallica playing there. And it was that what year was that? 84?
84 when they got their equipment store and bought all of it.
Yes, that's what it was. They mentioned they got their equipment store.
The Fade to Black show.
Yeah. Oh, crazy, man.
I mean, it's like, and Greg played in Sad Wings of Destiny, the Judas Priest tribute band. So it's kind of like
tribute, right on.
It's all there. The pedigree is there, and it's like, you know, I guess so. It's like it all came together, and then, you know, all that we realized, like, Eric can play keyboards, and you know, so
were you guys? Did you guys? I kind of want to ask a little bit, not about the recording equipment, but did you guys use? Were you shopping around using different stuff for, you know, for amps and guitars and pedals and stuff on this one as opposed to your last release?
Yeah, as far as guitars were concerned, I kind of did a mix of late 80s JCM 800. I'm a big Marshall, like old school Marshall.
I like Marshall. All the old metalheads will get that. The Pantera fans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. But it's like I used an 800, and then luckily for us, the guy Joel Hawkins, who recorded us, had a Kemper, amp mod.
Yeah.
So the guitar tone you hear on that is a combination of the Marshall, a 5150, and a Silver Jubilee. So it's triple tracked. It was just to give it a different sound. I'm not a fuzz guy. You know?
No, straight up, no fuzz, no, yeah. I don't think, and the other thing too, it's like, it's not, I mean, maybe earlier stuff, but your guys are not really a stoner band. I mean, everybody's like says stoner bands. No, you guys like a straight up metal rock fucking band, just straightforward, stay in your lane. We know what we want to do. Greg, what were you ripping for a bass and for amp and effects?
I actually recently, about a year or two, changed over to music bands. I tried one and I fell in love with it, and then boom, that was the end of it. So my Fender solo, and I have basses. I went straight with the music mans now. They basically just play by them.
On the recording, you used an Ampeg too, right? Was it the Hand of Doom Ampeg?
No, we used the there was for the split for the EP we did with More Than the Light. I actually did something different. I used the Ashtown Hand of Doom, which was like the Geezer Butler signature hit. I used it for that.
Yep.
But, I recorded it again with the 51, like a Obi-Wan 500. It was an orange thing. I didn't like the way it sounded. As I came back and did it again. Joel pumped me through the Kemper, and pretty much that whole thing, except for 2 songs, is actually played through the Kemper. But next time around, I'm basically going to go back to like using the Ampeg and so forth. It was a good run, but I think for the next one, we need to be a little bit rawer.
Yeah. How about what did you end up doing on drums? Were you using different pieces, or did you do a straightforward one set through the whole?
I did. Okay, so on this album, Fortune Fire and Stream from Silence, they actually were on that split EP we did with More Than the Light. I think that was 2019, and same drum set basically. In the studio, Joel Hopkins had a collector series EW. I think it's with a 12, 13, 16-inch floor tom and a 22-inch bass drum. So I used that on those 2 songs. I used I think it was a late 70s Ludwig Super Sensitive, which is a similar to John Bonham.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. Wow, where'd you pick that up at?
Used the same setup with the shells, and I used a 6.5 by 14 Ludwig chrome over brass. So I thought that worked really good with a little bit of dampening. All the cymbals are Sabian. I used a 14-inch HHX Celebrator for the hi-hats, a 21-inch Groove Ride. Joel had a 16-inch, it was a medium HH hand hammered, and I used an 18-inch HHX Explosion Crash. And one of the centerpieces is I do a 19-inch AAX Stream China, and I have an 8-inch AA Splash on top of that. So if
you mirror them, you mesh them, mirror them together. Yep.
The song "Spirit of Vengeance," it has a whip sound in it that kind of reminds me of Back in the South. That's the China song I was going for.
Now, did you also did I hear this right? You also did keys on this?
Yeah. So I thought that would be cool in the beginning of the song we just heard, and towards the last 4 minutes of the last song, Ironbound. I thought it would have a very epic kind of sound. I thought it would enhance what we're doing in the background without taking over any of the chord structure. And I think it worked extremely well. And
totally, yeah. I was When the Deadbolt Breaks guys. They have the guy in the band, Steve, now was doing keys, but he was doing everything digitally. He was using Korg effects and stuff straight from the computer. But man, it adds such a cool. And your style is different than theirs, but it adds such a cool little undertow effect to it that brings everything together.
Yeah, see, what I wanted to do was almost treat it like you were playing an organ, where it could supplement the chord progression without drowning any of that out, just to fatten up the low end section, basically.
Right. I want to say hello to a couple people that are on the chat here. We got looks like Salt of the Earth Records is on there. What's up, Scotty? We also have let's see. Maddie Plays is on there. Oh, we got the guys from Conclave listening. It says great album, guys. Halitosis. That's Josh Tate. Now that's the stuff. Yeah, finally, once we got the bugs worked out and I figured out how to, cast some audio, it worked good. Leprechaun TV. Yo. What's up, Leprechaun TV? Heavy is a heavy. You know them?
That was my other account. Hello.
Norman Chipman is on here. Thomas Metal 75. And that looks like we got everybody on here. So that's cool. This is actually my first time doing this as far as the YouTube goes for the live. And it will be recorded. And I'll also be posting this on Facebook in case anybody misses it. We're doing this Oxblood Forge listening party. I'm Lord Gates from Rapture Radio. We're here with all the guys from Oxblood Forge. And I want to do another track off of the new release that's coming out tomorrow. And they're releasing it themselves. And I got to tell you, Ken sent me this a little while back, and I'm a mailman like Ken is, okay? And I drive around all day in my car, and whatever I'm listening to, the world is listening to. So the other day, I was revisiting my my rap hip hop roots, and I went down the rabbit hole with some NWA you know, and that went over pretty well in like the nice white class neighborhood, you know, where they're roll them up. Here comes that crazy mailman, you know, with the F the police coming out of his car. But then I had When the Deadbolt Breaks playing, and I had the new couple of the songs from On the Way, and then I put your record on, and I listened to your record, probably your release, probably like 3 or 4 different times, and I was pulling off to the side to make a delivery, and I got this guy's waiting at his mailbox for his mail, older gentleman, older than me, and he's like, "What's that y'all listen to?" And I said, "This is Oxblood Forge." He's like, "Man, that guy can sing. It sounds like someone's stepping on his toe." And I was like, "Oh, no. Have a nice day." I drove away like Bumblebee Tuna. Have a good one, Bumblebee Tuna. But yeah, it's whatever I listen to, they listen to. So let's get back to some sharing screen here. We got the audio going here, and I'm wondering if do you want me to? Let me make sure it shares here. There we go. Okay, I am sharing computer sound. Do you want me to jump around here at all, or can I just go straight to the next track?
Go straight through. We don't have to listen to all track if you don't want to, because it's like an hour long. Maybe
well, let's play Decimator. It's the second track, and we were just talking about that with drums, right? Is this where we're gonna hear the drums? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna pause. Let me just pull this over here, and let's mute these guys over here. And we're going to mute myself, and let's listen to the next track off of the upcoming Oxblood Forge Decimator album. And this is the self-titled one. This is Decimator here on Listen to the Lord.
Evil knows no bounds. The numbers start to mount. Bows down to the decimation. There's no recourse. In the dead of the night, still and fall. Decimation. Enough survivors. In the dead of the night, still in fall. Decimation. Leave no survivors.
Oh, that is awesome. That is totally awesome. I'm listening to that and I'm like, I got a fever for more cowbell.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you can never have too much cowbell in a song.
Only song we have another song that uses cowbell. We didn't record it, but that's the only song that's got cowbell on that end.
Yeah. And I see what you mean with the drums. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I have to say that if I ever get back into a band, I am totally going to try to get sponsorship by either anybody that makes these friggin' toys, these little Pops toys, because I'm a kid at heart. Whose house are you at right now?
Greg's.
Greg's. Yeah, you're a little kid like I am, dude. Literally over there, I have a shelf full of shit, just records and Randy Macho Man Savage pop-up stuff, Slayer pop-up stuff, Ash from Evil Dead, all that crap. So I'm gonna be sponsored by those guys and Polar Pop. When you absolutely positively have to get diabetes, Polar Pop. So all right, so that was the second track off of Decimator. I want to talk a little bit about you guys just played your first show. Was that the first show coming out of the pandemic?
No, we had a show at Horse Brook Cafe last August. Forget when we played on that.
It was either August. I think it was September. August, September.
It was.
Oh, was that the they can only sell so many tickets type of thing?
Yeah, that was also a Dwayne Eldridge from More in the Light. Check them out. Their new stuff's
Shout out to Dwayne. What was the difference between that show and this one that you just played? Was it more capacity, no mass?
I think they loosened up a little bit. I mean, the first show was definitely people masked.
Yeah.
This show last week, there was not many masks going on. It was outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that is going to be the way of the future now? You think that's going to be finally people are taking them, burning them, and live music will return to 100% normality, or do you think it's going to take a little while?
Some major concerts coming out and sporting events.
I think it's too early to really tell. I think people are going to try to open up stuff and people are going to try to get back to normal, but I feel like it's too early we don't have anything going on. Everything's been sort of, all right, people are getting vaccinated, things are getting better, but there's also the Delta variant of coronavirus that is sort of hanging out in the wings. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where I got my fingers crossed that, we're going to start seeing a lot more concerts. I mean, they just announced what Gore, Napalm Death, and I Hate God with
Madball. Yeah.
They're going to play
a great lineup that is, man.
After they play the Palladium, there will be no more Palladium in Worcester.
Yeah, it'll be destroyed. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to put on a show, and everybody's got these huge, you saw Lollapalooza has every single band in the Foo Fighters, but it's still not going to be anything compared to War, Napalm Death, I Hate God, and Madball.
Yeah. Oh, and I've seen Guar a number of times. Actually, Greg, I'm going to date myself with you. Not the first show, but one of the first couple of shows I saw at the channel was Guar on the Scum Dogs of the Universe tour. So it was 1990. And if I remember correctly, I think I was a senior in high school, and my buddy who was living, wait a minute, was I a senior? No, I think I had already graduated. My buddy was going to school up in Boston, and he calls me up and he goes, dude, you got to come see Guar. And I kind of knew who they were. I didn't know the previous album, but I had heard, some of, Slaughterama and, Sick of You and stuff. And then I went and bought the tape, and I just absolutely fell in love with them. And I'm like, I'm going to go see him. So I drive up there, and I'm meeting my buddy at his place, and I pick him up, and we drive to the channel. Now you forget what you're going to. You're like, I'm going to go see Guar. I'm going to stand in the middle of the crowd. I'm going to get sprayed by every single type of fluid on the planet, whether it's, urine or supposed to be urine or cum or fucking whatever. And I had a white t-shirt on, and I had my hair like, cut like this, and I got slathered with it.
Oh,
And I got pulled over by the state troopers on my way home on the Mass Pike for speeding in a 1981 Chevy Citation. Okay. I mean, I can only go like 60 miles an hour or whatever, and I get pulled over, and it was winter. I remember it was cold. It was winter, and the guy rolls up on me, and he's got his flashlight, and I am covered. I haven't washed anything off, nothing. And the reason why he pulled me over, it was for speeding, but he had said there was an anonymous tip that somebody had pulled off to the rest area on the way back home because I was going back to Connecticut, and I got out, and you forget that you're covered in all this goo and blood and stuff. And I put gas in and I went inside to buy something. And the girl's looking at me like I murdered someone. And they called the cops and said, there's someone going on the way back down 390, down the Mass Pike, heading back to wherever. We think he killed somebody.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, dude, I was at Guar. And he's like, what? And I said, God, what an awful racket. Guar, they dressed up like monsters. He goes, what? And I go, I was at the channel. And he goes, oh, you're good. Left me off with a warning, and I took off. I was like, what the all I could have said is I was at the channel. That was it. But
yeah, and that's the thing, and people want that again. And I'm just real quick gonna give a shout out to my buddy Vomitron Joe, who actually just told me his own gore story. Joe, sorry to paraphrase it. Basically, he went to go see Gore and Buzz Oven.
oh, dude, but go ahead.
According to Joe, he said, I saw Buzz Oven and then I left. Because I couldn't take anymore. And I'm like, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I think it was Venus de Milo.
I saw
put in the chat if I messed that up.
myself, my good buddy Bill, Wild Bill, HC, and my cousin Randy from Van Cable went and saw Buzz Oven when they did the it was when Dixie did, it was the At the Loss album. And we saw him at the LNG in New London with 12 people.
Oof.
And they were brutal. I mean, brutal. We were on stage singing with them. Kirk was rolling around in broken glass. There's fucking booze everywhere. That is one band that I can honestly say I was scared of to go see live. And I've seen them about a dozen times. I actually saw them on the Welcome to Violence tour, and also at the Club Babyhead in Providence, and then saw them when they came around on the Soar album, and they were I don't even know how to describe them to people.
I mean, you get all the sludge bands that came out, and then God and Acid Bath were just
Acid Bath, yeah.
different breed.
Oh, so the Dirty South, where I live now. Actually, Dixie Dave from Weed Eater lives literally 15 minutes away from me, and I see him every now and then over at Reggie's.
So I was in a band back in the day, Roxy Cranway. We toured down south, played North Carolina, played with Weed Eater. I stayed at Dave's house.
Awesome.
So when we stayed at his house, and then like literally the next day he goes, hey, so y'all got time to hang out? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And our singer's like, we don't. I'm like, well, let's find out. He goes, well, we're gonna go four-wheeling over my buddy's house if you guys want to come along. I'm like, yeah. He goes, we're like, and our singer was like, oh, we're gonna go. I'm like, what's your buddy's name? Pepper.
Pepper Keenan.
Yeah, who was living in Carolina at the time. So I went four-wheeling to Pepper Keenan's house. I'm like, we gotta go. I'm like, I quit the band. Fuck.
He had this great story. I ran into Dixie Dave at Reggie's one time, and he was like, hey, man, listen, if you want to have a good time, man, right around Christmas, buy yourself a yearly pass for the water park over here. We have this like little water park. It's like a little lazy river, and then go-karts and shit like that. I forget the name of it. And he's like, half off. So it's like $80. And we go there in the summer when we get back off tour, and we go there every day, and we just float down the river. And I can see like him, just like chilling out, with his tattoos, drinking a beer, just floating down the lazy river, man, riding his bike there. And that's what it's all about, man. So, for shows coming up, then, do you have anything booked in the books ready to go?
One show.
Yep.
Up at Sammy's patio.
Where?
In Revere, Mass.
Oh, what is it?
Sam's Patio.
I've only been to Revere once, and I told Kenneth this. I went to the Golden Banana for a bachelor party.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
Revere
Yeah.
Beach.
Very sticky, very sticky. Yeah, very
Sam's
sticky.
Patio on
August 13th. It's a Friday the 13th, by the way.
Oh,
Blizzard, Psycho Prophet, and Dust Prophet.
Yeah.
oh, Dust Prophet, great band, man. Good guys too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're psyched about playing the show and hearing those guys for once.
Do you guys have a kind of a live wish list that you're looking at where you want to, is there anybody out there you think is listening that you're like, hey, we would really love to jump on, a couple dates with you guys or anything like that?
Conclave.
Yeah, Conclave will be good.
Conclave dudes. Yeah.
Yep.
Always great to play with.
I think at this point, if we get other places, not necessarily outside of the state of Rhode Island or Connecticut, but just different places that haven't seen this band yet, that's just my minimal bucket list. Get to as many other people that haven't seen this thing before.
Yeah.
How far, what's the farthest this band has traveled to play a
That's
gig?
Toronto, I joined, right?
Toronto.
Yeah, we did. Scott Harrington got us Doom over Toronto too. It was like
Cool.
Old Man Gloom.
Was Elder on
No,
that?
Old Man Gloom didn't play. No, it's like Red Mars Sky.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but yeah, Scott
Mars Sky.
It was a blur.
Scott Harrington, the man, got us to show up there, and that was quite possibly one of the best experiences of my life because we get up there, we go to the bar, they're like, "Drinks are on us, eh?" And they give us beers.
Oh yeah.
The beers are like 20% alcohol by
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been up there a couple times. I was up there for a short, I was up there for one of, I was actually up there with my cousin's band Cable, and it was ISIS's first gig. The band ISIS, their first gig. I'm talking shit. I don't even know, 98, maybe 99. They played a gig at this place called, I think it was called the Underground. It was like a record shop, skate shop. It was in, I think we were in Montreal, and because we went to St. Catherine Street afterwards, where apparently the strip clubs are, both sides of the spectrum. We didn't know that because we walked in there and the girls were taking off stuff, and then all of a sudden they left and we heard Jean pour le not to come to the stage, Jacques, and we're like, drink them up, whoop. Out the door we went. I was like, I don't need any Golden Banana up in Montreal. I'm good. Thank you. Oh, and the weird thing about strip clubs in Montreal, they you know how they have the $1 and the $2 coins?
Yeah.
Loonies and Toonies.
People were flicking them at the stage like bottle caps. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And then we went out, and then afterwards we went out for hamburgers, and they put coleslaw on the hamburger, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
But they have Tim Hortons. Oh my God.
I was blessed with living on the Connecticut Rhode Island border.
Yeah.
We had Tim Hortons right across the way, and they got rid of them, and they went tits up. And I was like, "Why would you remove?" Their coffee was incredible, but their donuts were.
Well, that's what got us back from Toronto, is like straight Tim Hortons.
Oh, it's hot. It's like drinking Molson X. It's like
it's beautiful.
full on. And you ever notice too when you buy cigarettes in Canada, it says smoking can kill you.
Oh yeah.
Giant warnings in other
Skull and
countries.
crossbones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your baby will be born with like 4 heads or something, like, and collapsed lung. I was like, wow, they don't mess around, eh? What the fuck? I want to get to another song here, but before we get to a song, let's just do a quick check here and see who's on the list. Streaming us live right now. Thomas Metal 75, Chipman still on there. Sabrina Anderson, hello Sabrina, metal up to you. And Mark Lewiski, Lesowski, Lazowski. Thank you.
Yes, buddy,
Appreciate that. And did you say, Rob, your buddy is what is it? Vomitron?
Vomitron.
All right.
Cool.
Playing War.
No, that's my buddy Joe that I've been trying to recruit for the band for years. He won't do it.
Well, let's get back to another track. I want to do another track here. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna do. Okay, so you guys have released Forged in Fire, right?
That was out there, yeah.
You've released that one. Let's do. Let's skip that one. We'll go to Spirit of Vengeance.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, man.
Let's do a little share screen action here. And we're sharing. And we're going to mute the guys for a second. And we're going to go to the next track that is coming out on the Decimator album, which will be released tomorrow. It's Oxblood Forge. It's the guys with Oxblood Forge. I am Lord Gates. And this right here is track number 4 off of Decimator. This is Spirit of Vengeance here on Listen to the Lord.
road of place tonight, right on, fasting me. Deal with the devil eternally, right on, fasting me. This road of place tonight, right on, fasting me. Deal with the devil eternally, right on, fasting me. This road of
channeling the Judas Priest in them. That right there is Spirit of Vengeance here on Listen to the Lord with Oxblood Forge. Hey guys, I love the motorcycle little thing. Whose idea was that at the end?
The song is called Ghost Rider, so yeah, inspired motorcycles.
Yeah, man.
Are
Some motorcycles and some fire. Exactly.
do you guys? Does anybody ride? Does anybody have a motorcycle?
I don't know that. No.
Too dangerous. I mean, we're metalheads. You can't listen to metal and ride a motorcycle at the
I
same
did
time.
skateboard when I was a kid because I started playing guitar and I would read stories about like, oh, James Hetfield has to have Jim Marshall feelings he broke his arm skateboard. I'm like, that. No. So I gave up skateboard to play guitar. So I'm not even going to ride a motorcycle. Fuck that.
Hey, one of the things I noticed that was really cool, I think Ken's told me the story about this. So on the back of the album, on the CD, you guys did that picture. Where did you guys do the, yeah, you got that photo?
Yeah.
Pull that up to the screen. Tilt it a little bit.
Larry.
All right, so it's the guy. Where was that taken at?
That was done at, I think that was I'm trying to remember. I think that was actually a boarding school in the town of Fairhaven, Massachusetts. We had our buddy Evil Rob that did the photography.
Evil Rob photography. Evil Rob rules. Yeah, always in the pit, always in front of the stage at every show. We love you, Evil Rob. And I'm smitten with the idea of anybody on an album cover holding a sword. So whose idea was that?
Once again, yeah.
And it kind of looks a little bit like Sting from like the Lord of the Rings thing.
This is a small sword. Actually, I got the top. I was gonna bring it in, but my buddy Jeff gave me that as a parting gift when he moved away.
Yeah.
Like, the sword, he was just getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And it was around the time we were going to do that photo shoot, and I wanted to have a sword. It's like, I have a sword.
I mean, you gotta have a sword. The album's freaking called Decimator. You got a guy on it, in a loincloth with a dragon. Of course, you're gonna have swords and shit.
Yeah, so literally like 2 weeks before we did the photo shoot.
Not quite Manowar.
When I was working at Mohegan Sun Casino, one of the tribal guys that was working with me, he was a rigger, and I gave him when my son grew up and out of trains, I gave him like this big train set, and his kid loved the trains. And he's like, I want to trade for it. And I said, well, what do you got? And he's like, well, I have machetes. I go, you do? And he goes, yeah, I have like a lot of them, like 100 of them. And I said, well, let me see what you got. So he like pulls them all out and everything. And I go, dude, he gave me 4 of them, and I gave one away. I gave this one. It was like Zombie Killer. I gave it to Aaron from When the Deadbolt Breaks, when he did our photography for us. And when I was doing WCNI radio with my buddy Chris Denoto. And then I gave another one away, and then I kept 2 of them. But this is my pride and joy. This is the reference to Clutch LFA. And this is just a fantastic sword. Like, this is look at the handle on that. And that is just like, so I don't keep a shotgun near the side of my bed. I keep this, because if someone tries to break in my house, I would much rather zombify them. Put a bullet in them, and they see, if you roll up on me and I got this, and I was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You're gonna turn around. You're gonna think twice before you yeah. So that's going right back in there before I cut my fingers off. But yeah, I got little trinkets. I got this right. My buddy gave me this. This is my drinking flask. The horn. It says Lord Gates on it. It's got a little Lord Gates thing there. Yeah. All little stupid shit that we have, because we're kids. We're not adults. We're kids. Everybody knows that.
You,
So I want to look at the see if anybody has any questions. Who's the drummer of this band from Bumpy Road Brewery? Oh,
Who's the drummer?
Is this guy? Yeah, he knows the answer to that. So I am Thomas Metal in the chat. I told him I'm an asshole. He's an asshole. Yeah, I do.
Let's see. If anybody has questions, if you're on YouTube right now and you got questions for the band, let me know. You know, just put them in the chat there because we are monitoring that. We're talking with.
Awesome.
We lost your audio.
Can't hear you.
All right.
Sorry, I just stepped on my mute button like a. I have this little mute button here, and I stepped on it like a fucking guitar pedal. Okay, so we're with Oxblood Forge. They have a new album coming out on Friday, June 18th. That's called Decimator. Let's talk about how people can get this. There you go, and what formats it's going to be.
Essentially, right now it's digital and.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I think I lost you. Okay, there we go. I got you. Go ahead.
It is on digital Bandcamp. It'll be on Spotify tomorrow. It'll be on Apple Music tomorrow, and we have CDs.
Probably Amazon too.
Tidal.
Amazon, Tidal.
We're hanging out with Yeet on Tidal.
Most of the streaming services, all the streaming services, pretty much.
How about like merch, shirts, or anything, stickers, or anything like that?
Yeah, if you go to our Bandcamp, we have T-shirts. You can order the CD with the T-shirts, and stickers will be included. We like that. There's some beer koozies in there too.
Yeah. We gotta earn that beer koozie.
most of the orders are getting beer koozies and anything I can throw in there.
I'm always looking for bands to come up with different ideas for merch. What could be like a cool something different that, you know, you always see like stickers and flags and T-shirts, and I'm a big bandana guy. I like bandanas because I'm fat, so I don't like T-shirts. I have to put two T-shirts together to fit me. So a bandana you just throw on, or you can wear it in your pocket or whatever. Plus it's hot as balls down here, so I'm always using them. What else could be? I think Oxblood Forge, you guys should have the leather like wrist wraps, the Oxblood Forge, like ox blood coloring. You know, that ox blood, like the old Doc Martens, that ox blood with the, and it's got to be like burned in or stamped in or something.
Yeah. I mean, I have to like give another shout out, like one that like Dwayne and one that like those guys know how to merchandise. You go to there and it's like you got
yeah.
Oh, more on the right, the action figure, more on the right. Go ahead. It's like they.
Yep.
You know, but that's the thing. It's tough because you see bands that do like hot sauce, and it's like well, not everybody likes hot sauce, you know.
Well, have you seen the Guar whiskey bottles, the rye whiskey, where each bottle has a different band member's head on it as a topper, a silver topper? Oh my! I don't even drink that shit, and I would buy it just for that. I would take those things and turn them into like Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. And I get the Facebook ads now all the time for like Mustangs, Le Mans beer.
Yeah. À tout le monde. Today, man. Most of that stuff's garbage half the time anyway. It's just, you know, it's just marketing bullshit. I mean, I buy it because I'm stupid.
Hey, that for me was over after Rust in Peace anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, the shout out to the More Than Light guys. They had just released a new video that was up on YouTube. You want to check it out? It's pretty cool. It's them standing in like a field, and then it's Andrew looking at nature, which is pretty cool. I think it's kind of cool.
Yes.
But I always felt, and Dwayne and I were talking about this, that I think aside from T-shirts, I think one of the number one merch item is patches. If you can come up with a cool freaking patch.
I would love it. I want to see I want to go even further. I want to take it a step further. And I talked to Ken about this before. Our album cover, but not just a patch, the old school denim back, like the big.
Oh, the back patch. That's like this. It's not even a square. It's like tapered.
It's tapered. Like, because when I was a kid, I had Peace Sells But Who's Buying on the back that I got at Center Stage in Rockland, Massachusetts. And like, I want that. I want the big silk screen back patch you can put on the back of your denim jacket.
We can make
Like that needs, with the embroidered edges, not,
Yeah, with the
not,
embroidered edges. Oh yeah, and you got to sew that shit on. You don't iron it on. You got to sew it. Yeah.
not like our old hardcore days. We had like the canvas patch that you would
Yep.
sew in like somebody's garage.
Or
Like,
using safety pins to put it on.
yeah,
Yeah.
dental floss was another one. So
Yeah.
I want the big back patch.
That would be. That would be. I think like the back patches and the and like flags are kind of a bigger, cooler item. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or even posters, like a really cool like silk screen, like when the bands go on tour and they do. There's an artist in town that does a limited run screen print of the poster.
Well, I want to do the Decimator action figure. Because action.
The guy,
Yeah.
the guy on the album cover with the dragon.
Yes. Decimator.
Dude, that could be. It could be like a Todd McFarlane. Remember the Todd McFarlane, like the Alien Queen, the box that. Oh no! It could be like the Todd McFarlane. They called it a fishbowl. It was the fishbowl figures. One of them was the Satan from Legend, the movie.
Yep.
The horns. Another one was the crow. And I think another one was like they had a bloody version of Jason, a bloody version of Freddy,
Yep.
and Edward Scissorhands. There you go.
So we could do that and do like a limited edition, like run of like 13 of them.
13 action figures?
13 action
That's
figures.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Collect the whole set.
all bands have them now, like Ghost and Iron Maiden.
Yep.
Misfits.
Yeah, but you could find a fellow nerd that has a 3D printing machine and do it like that.
Wow.
Limited batch.
That's an idea.
Right.
Even
And-
better, we get somebody with a 3D printing machine and then somebody that's super into like Warhammer 4K that can do like that does the figure painting.
Yeah. Oh, so you run them out, you do a small run, and then you have somebody who's like,
Painted.
Well, I guess my idea of the bobbleheads is out the window.
Hand painted. Hand
Yeah.
painted.
So
see, it's or if you really want to go old school, you could do the Coke mirrors that you used to try to win at the fairs.
So not only that, I was telling them we could also do the pewter pendant.
Oh, those were great. With the really big, thick chain, nobody could like pull it off of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy had one. It was the what is it? Motorhead, the Motorhead Snaggle. No, did I say that right? Is that Snaggletooth?
Metal something.
Yep.
Yeah, the metal, the pig, the war pig thing, whatever. And he had it around his neck and he wore it to the beach, and it burned like the sun beat down on him, so it burned the imprint around. It was like, oh, it's great. It was fucking great. Yeah.
It's sort of like that scene in Laser Blast when the guy gets like that medallion from the outer space, and he basically makes basically metal.
Burns a hole in his chest.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah.
But that's
that would be.
Thinking about like all the stuff, because like growing up, we had two stores. We had Highways in Brockton and we had Center Stage in Rockland, and it was all that like it's where you got your black heavy metal T-shirts, your back, your pins,
Your rings. Big thing with rings too, man.
all the stories, and all the bootleg concert tapes. So like,
Yeah.
was it Metallica live at Felt Forum in '86? The last show they played.
Oh,
They
awesome.
went to Europe where Cliff died.
Right.
I got a bootleg copy of that when I was like 13.
That's awesome, man.
You know, so
I remember the rings because we would buy a ring in case we got jumped by anybody that didn't like metalheads or punk rock kids, and we would just one hit right here, and you give them like a fucking Judas Priest birthmark, you know?
yeah, walking around with a brass knuckle on your hand.
So I guess
Yeah.
Decimator ring with the big horns.
Decimator ring.
Yeah.
Pewter pendant. We need back patches. We need flags.
It costs money.
Brass knuckles.
Brass- It's getting violent now here. I think you could find somebody though to fund it. You could definitely find another fellow metalhead.
So we can fund these things, people.
Aurora model kits.
Somebody in the comments, Norm, thanks Norm. Norm says toothpaste, and my buddy Bill says oxblood Speedos, which
Oxblood forged cookies. There's a good one. Oxblood forged cookies
we'll send you.
with real oxblood. I want to get to another track here. Let me just minimize this so that way we can get to it. There we go. So continuing down the Oxblood Forge Decimator album, we're going to go, I'm going to go to what I feel is my favorite track on the album. We're going to skip a bit. I want to go to Screams from Silence. I absolutely love this song. Ken, what was, can you tell me a little bit about what this song is about?
Oh man, it's just about an evil king that lives in a castle that is sort of ghost that attacks people that enter the castle.
Yeah, because I was listening to a lot of King Diamond when I wrote the riff. So.
I knew exactly that you were listening to that. I knew as soon as I heard, I was like, that is friggin' King Diamond all the way there.
Yeah, that's my tribute to Andy LaRoche.
There you go.
So just about someone being trapped in a castle where it's a haunted castle with a king that slaughters everything.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna.
I usually don't describe the songs, but that's.
So, no, that's perfect. I mean, it's just basic to the point, castle, ghost, king. Don't go in the castle. There's a ghost in there. Okay. Cool. Evil king, ghost, castle. Stay away. All right. So I'm going to mute the guys here. And we're going to do a little share screen action here. And we are going to get to the next track. And this is, let's see, this is track number 7 on the new Decimator album coming out on June 18th. It's Oxblood Forge, and this is called Screams from Silence.
Spend your life on trial.
Awesome. Totally, absolutely, 120% awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord Gates.
I-
Mr. Lord Gates.
That's probably my favorite track on the album. I do like Decimator a lot. I think Decimator's cool, but that is my favorite. You know what's awesome is, so we cut to the music and you can't really do nothing but sit back and enjoy it. Watching you guys just have a blast, like going back and forth, playing air drums, playing guitar, singing. It sounds like this version of Oxblood Forge has gelled really, really well.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, totally. Thank you.
Thank you for hosting tonight.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having us on board. Board.
Yeah. Bill Carter in the chat says, my expert ear tells me that an Explorer was used for the track. And he
Really?
loved it.
Yes, that was my Carina Explorer through Marshall for all the rhythm tracks.
Okay.
Oh, so you bounced around from different stuff then?
Yeah, so I used an Explorer for all the rhythm tracks, and I used my Les Paul for all the leads.
Yep.
So
How is I've always I've wondered about this. So transferring this to a live show,
mhm.
do you lose anything or with because of doing overdubs and stuff like that, especially for guitar?
I don't think so. I mean, I've toyed with the idea of doing like Sammy Dewey from Goat Whore will have a rig on one side of the stage, and then he'll have a rig on the other side because he's the only guitar player.
Yep.
I've toyed with that idea, but then you've been you're running something like that at like Altones.
Hey, can you help me load this in?
Wayne, like, hey, I'm gonna have a Marshall house stack here, but then over there as well.
Stereo.
Sorry, like the sound guy.
Sorry.
If we were playing like bigger venues, it would work. But I think vocal wise, we're now starting to ramp up doing backing vocals behind Ken. So we're gonna have that more in play. As far as everything else, I mean, I think I always kind of looked at albums and live as two different beasts anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you get some bands where they can pull it off. Some bands like Iron Maiden, where they're just like, fuck it, we're going to have all the guitar players.
Yeah.
Like, just
yeah.
3 guys on stage. You know what I mean? And then there's bands where it's like I remember growing up with Pantera, and like Dimebag's big thing was, I'm not going to do guitars behind my solos because that's not how it's played live. So
Right.
After Vulgar, everything was like guitar solo comes in and there's no rhythm guitar underneath it.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
The other side of the coin was when we had our buddy Corey Pace that did all the mixing. He was asking us if we wanted any of the stems to do backing tracks, so that, say for example, for any of the keyboards that I recorded live, do we want to have backing tracks so that we can have keyboards live? Because I'm drumming, I'm obviously not keyboarding at the same time here, but I think that would entail us having to do click tracks and having to have in ears to be able to do that. So we're time aligning when that stuff comes along in songs, and probably it would be me, I bet you, trying to set all that
Trigger
up.
it. Yeah.
We can go into it. That's a giant amount of work to get that thing done if we really want to do it. I don't feel like the songs miss it any. I just felt like in recording these songs, I felt like, you know what, the songs could very well benefit in a studio mix that way. I think we're going to be strong enough live, but in the studio mix, it makes it sound, in the studio, we learned this really quickly, that in the studio, we can try a lot of different things. If they don't work, whatever, right? But it's a good idea to try them, because that's the place to really experiment. It's in the studio. And I get it, time is money, but I think that's the best thing you can do, is just try different things, see what sticks. If it doesn't, just move along from that experience.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is I ended up learning as we went was, just because you do it in the studio doesn't necessarily mean you have to replicate it live. So to Eric's point, we could do the keyboards, but for like the guitar overdubs, I mean, it's gonna add to it on the recording, but honestly, people aren't necessarily gonna miss it live unless they're going, oh well, he didn't do the harmonies weren't there, so
Liar! You lied to me. Yeah.
boo this man.
Yeah. Boo to you. Are you so when you guys are setting up now for getting to play live gigs, what are some of the older tracks that you're leaning towards that you want to play live?
So when we played that show, when we played that show in August, when we played that show a couple weeks ago, we just basically played all this new stuff because it's coming out in 2 weeks. But we've been playing a lot of, I think, Death Dealer from the Death Dealer's Lament album, and I think
We do Paragora, we do Death Dealer.
yeah,
I think off
Inferno's kind of sometimes.
yes,
That's been a while,
Death Dealer's Lament, I think the two main ones that kind of
Mhm.
stay with us are Paragora, Euphoria, and
Yeah, that's a great track. I like Vultures too.
yeah,
but that one's
Vultures.
still there.
there's a song that was unreleased called what's the song that we played that was really slower, the really slower doomier one. It's not called Lash. That's not what I'm thinking of.
No.
One song that we haven't released.
Cleanse with Fire.
Cleanse
Cleanse
with
with
Fire.
Fire.
Called Cleanse with Fire. That I wasn't in the
this one.
band. I was not in the band when that song got written. We haven't recorded it on anything. Maybe the next album, but
Yeah, that's probably
older.
older down the pipe.
It's got to be 2-3 years old of a song that
It's
hasn't
been
been on the
around.
album yet.
We played that live, there's some YouTube recordings of that. It's
Yeah.
something we kind of retooled a little bit, and I think that one will be recorded next time.
Yeah, and there's stuff off that first EP too, where
Mhm.
I mean, stuff like Sister Midnight.
Lash to the Mast, or
Lash to the Masters, I know is a super popular one, but
yeah, it is. Yeah.
it's tough because it's like we tried playing it with the lineup, and it's like you do almost need the two guitars for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we could probably figure it. It's just a matter of, it's now we're at the point where we get a lot of songs, so we have to go back and like try to figure out how to work it.
How is this going to piece together? I've always been a fan of bands though that do take the chances and will come out and do new stuff. You know, I remember Iron Maiden did that one tour where all they played was new stuff. Do you remember that? And then
It'd be you.
yeah,
Yeah, I went to that. They played that whole new Matter of Life and Death album.
yep, you remember that? And then they came out and did like 4 or 5 classic tracks. That was it.
That whole album that just came out maybe a week or two before.
It's a strong album.
Dude, that album is phenomenal. A phenomenal album. And I actually like I actually really like what is it? Dance of Death.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a great I think Passchendaele is one of the best songs they've ever written on that. It's so long and
Yeah.
brooding and tells a great story. And that whole album resonates of what's that movie with
The Wicker Man?
Yeah.
no, what's the movie with Tom Cruise where he goes to the house and everybody's wearing masks and shit and he's got
Shut.
yeah, that album kind of reminds me of that. It's weird and kind of creepy and has some strange shit on it. Yeah, the album cover looks like it too. Yeah.
I will say though, like, it's made me appreciate, so like one of the first concerts I went to was to see Metallica at University of Amherst, the Black Tour.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Biggest fucking disappointments because they literally did the whole Black album and all the old songs was like a medley. And I was like, what the
Yeah, I gave up listening.
Yeah.
I'm a Justice guy below.
well, that's like,
Justice below. Yeah.
like I was saying, it's like Rust in Peace and they don't exist, and Justice, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Anthrax, they get a pass because John Bush was great.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that now because I'm like, I like listen back to the EP. I'm like, I don't like Sister Midnight, Nightcrawler. Those were just weird. Like that, the whole first EP was us just trying to get out there. So it's like,
Right.
and like none of it matches with each other. So it was weird. And then
It's crowd favorites though, man. You definitely will see people at your shows going, "Hey, play!" You know, screaming and yelling, "Play this! I want to hear this!" You know.
I try to keep a couple of the old ones, and
yeah,
People are
also
doing-
we have a lot of new stuff already right now.
People
as well.
know the lyrics to that Fortune Fire song. It's crazy. When did we play at Golden Street, maybe? No, or I forget where it was, Altones or Golden Street. And people were like in the front of the crowd, like doing the stale forward, I'm from fire.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the Golden Street show in Ontario.
That was crazy.
This album is a fist pumping in the air album.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, like when you would go see, you know, Metallica in their heyday, die. It's that type of album.
So we had a review from this album that I read recently that one of the negatives was it meandered a little bit where it wasn't necessarily like we heard we heard Screams from Silence and we heard Spirit of Vengeance. So it's not like the first two songs.
Well, fuck that review. Who reviewed that? Of course they're not the same. It's different songs, dumbass.
Exactly.
Yeah, these different vocal styles on.
I like my albums to sound the same. All songs must sound the same. All of them same.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck that. Reviews are for people that can't create music. Come on.
I try different vocal stylings on each song too. I don't try to stick to
Yeah, that was a cool thing during the.
So I think some people hear that
was a cool thing.
Think we're meandering,
During the pandemic was crazy because we started recording that album in February of 2020, and then COVID hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then Joel's studio, which is also in the Mass Music Complex in Taunton, he wasn't able to open until June. So we had all this time that we weren't doing anything. I actually lost the job during that time period. So fortunately enough, this guy Ken could get into the studio when he was done being the mailman for the day. And since I wasn't working, I could go right into the studio with him and we could edit vocals. We could do a lot of stuff. Him and I spent a lot of intimate time just getting vocal tracks and just editing vocals.
That's a long time to be working on something. That's fucking over a year. What is it, a year and a half?
Then the pandemic interrupted. We were already a month and a
half basically.
And then we had to shut everything down. The studio was shut down.
Yep.
Our practice studio was shut down during the pandemic, so we had to wait.
I ended up in the hospital like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was a crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was like a crazy year, and I think I ended up recording the finishing up the leads after Ken did his vocals, right?
Yep. Yeah. You weren't happy with some spots in the track, so
I went back and redid those, and by that point, I mean it was a lot longer than we expected it to work out. Because I think when we did Death Dealer, we literally did it over the course of like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
2 weekends. That was it.
Wow.
We did drums one day, we did bass the next day, we did guitars the next weekend, and then Ken did his vocals over a course of a couple of nights, and that was it. It was like that quick. So it was like the difference between the two, like, and I think there's also an element of Death Dealer. I don't want to say there wasn't a level of effort, but the songs didn't require it. You had 2 guitar players doing separate guitar tracks, whereas like for this, it was just me doing guitar tracks and then Eric coming in doing keyboards, and Ken did, I don't even know how much time you spent doing vocals and just like the vocals was a whole nother process unto itself that was just very time consuming.
But it was actually quite amazing.
And the result came out awesome.
The other thing too is that people have to keep in mind that people, bands go in the studio and they've been recording and writing stuff pandemic, but a lot of stuff not going to be released right away because all these, vinyl processing plants are all shut up or they don't have the resources, they don't have the materials to press this shit. And I know that there are certain bands out there that are like, digital is good, but vinyl analog is better. Vinyl is better. CD, a cassette, something you can hold on to. You can open up. You can look at the fucking colors, the lyrics. I just got the new King Buffalo in the mail today. The album. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And there's the little, bandcamp.com/yum. So I can type in my little digital so I can tomorrow when I go deliver mail, I can, share it with the world. But I like that. I like that tangible thing to hold on to add. I'm a hoarder, keep collecting, but I will play it. I will listen to it. And a lot of the companies out there, a lot of the processing plants just can't keep up with the demand with it.
Yeah, that's one thing that kept us away from doing vinyl when I started looking into it, that they were all backed up until the end of the year.
Right. A lot of bands have switched over to cassette right now because that's easier to push forward.
But that would be so cheap to do cassettes these days. It would be really.
Yeah. I have a handful of them left. I actually have Buzz Oven Sore. That's one of the ones I kept. And of course, Neurosis through Silver and Blood, because I'm never getting rid of that record, that cassette ever. But yeah, everything else I have is either vinyl or some form of digital. We're coming into a little over the hour mark, so I kind of want to wrap this up here. But what I want to do is I want to play the final track off of your new album that is coming out here on June 18th, which is a Friday. This is called, this is Ironbound. This is track number 9, New Oxblood Forge. We're looking at it. Decimator is the name of the album, and this is you said that you guys are going to have this on what, Bandcamp?
Already up there for pre-order.
Yep,
Bandcamp, iTunes, Amazon,
Spotify.
yep.
So it will be able for download, and then you have physical CDs. Do you have enough physical CDs, or are they?
Got way more than enough physical CDs, yeah.
We have enough. You'll get one in the mail tomorrow. You're getting your package tomorrow in the mail. Mr. Gates.
Shipped USPS style.
Email will be there.
Kenneth will personally deliver it to you.
Driving down
in my busted down LLV with a nail in the tire and no friggin' air conditioning. And well, you guys got cool weather there though, right? Isn't it like in the 40s or some shit, or 60s?
70 today.
It's gonna get lows are gonna be in the high 40s, mid 50s, the lows. Yeah.
It's 95 here and just 100% humidity. It sucks.
Like 2 weeks ago. What was that? 2 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, I heard you guys got whaled with like some 95 degree.
It was crazy 100% degree weather one time, like 2 years ago. That was not fun. Outside.
The pickups on my guitar melted.
Oh, that's what we call gold bond friction stick weather.
Oh yeah, no, I went home. I went to grab a can of Gatorade out of my cooler. I picked up the whole handle melted off.
Oh. Just like, oh man, am I tripping again? No, it's just freaking hot.
The case and like literally, and pickups are wax potted so they don't squeal. All the wax had melted out of the pickups, dripped down the guitar into the case.
This is starting to sound like some crazy cartoon or some crazy shit.
Yeah, it was our Spinal Tap moment. Hello, Cleveland.
Oh, exit.
We played well. We lost about 20 pounds apiece.
Hello, Plainfield. I mean Central Village. Hello, Central Village.
All
right, we're gonna mute the guys here. We're gonna get to the last track on the album, Ironbound. And remember that you guys can basically go on Bandcamp, check out their Facebook page, and you can order this. You can check them out on Spotify. You can do Apple. There's going to be all the digital download services, streaming services, and they do have some merch for sale as well if you check out their Facebook page. But I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to share the screen with you here. Make sure we get some audio. Shout out to everybody who is checking us out on YouTube right now. This is the final track off of Decimator. This is called Ironbound, and I am Lord Gates here on Listen to the Lord.
Shuts me down. arms of darkness. In a neon of doom, the flame of his life burns low. In the arms of darkness, in a neon of doom, the flame of his life burns low. In the arms of darkness, in a neon of doom, the flame of his light burns low. In the arms of darkness, in a neon of doom, the flame of his light burns low. The flame of light burns low. To stare down your face, the flame of light burns low. To stare down your face.
If there was ever a song that you're going to put at the end of the album to wrap it up, that's the one right there, man. Kudos. Amazing, man. That sounds awesome. Totally awesome. I love the as we're doing this, a little chat pops up with this is the Jim Morrison part. Absolutely. 100% the arms of darkness. Oh yeah, yes, I get it. Yes, the Jim Morrison part. Finishing up strong with the keys. Did you guys know, like, okay, this is it. This is the one we're gonna end it with?
Yeah, I knew that immediately the way that this song got written, and I knew immediately that when we go to the studio, trust me, you're gonna want this. You're gonna want these keyboards and these strings and the sound and give it the element that we're all hearing up here, and I think it translates exactly the way that we heard it, even though we may not have even imagined having the string section, but once it came into play, it was like, that's exactly how that song should sound.
Yeah, it's strong finish, man. Huge, strong finisher. I want to look. I want to look online here. Let's see. What do you see? So we're looking. I'm looking online here on the chat room. Shout out to Godzilla guitar solos. Really like that you switch it up. The slow parts accentuate the fast ones. Great work from Bill Carter. Who?
Bill, thank you, Bill. I will say, we do have one question, which I can answer from Norm Chipman.
Yep.
Sure.
Where did you guys get the name Oxblood Forge?
I've been asking that for 3 years.
I can tell you right now. So, we were throwing about all sorts of names. One of the names we threw around was Mod Deep from Dune. We were gonna call it, so we were names on a whiteboard. Names on a whiteboard. Like, one of the names Ken came up with was Ox Baker, the old wrestler.
Oh, the guy from Escape from New York with the.
Yeah, but
There's from Connecticut. There's Connecticut.
Yeah, I've met him. He used to work for my cousin Craig Gates, doing cars. He worked at the car sales place, driving people back and forth from their vehicles. Can you imagine being picked up in like a shuttle from Oxbaker? You're like, fuck, dude, what are you doing here? But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rob.
So then Ken's like, I want to call the band the Scalded Hounds of the Cosmic Forge. And I'm like, that is way. so I
Too long. It's too long. Won't fit on a banner.
Listen to a lot of Jeff Beck at the time, and he played an Oxblood colored Les Paul. I'm like, Oxblood Forge. Because my big thing is like, there's a million, like, even the show we're playing at Sammy's, there's like 4 bands called Prophet. You know what I mean? There's like a bunch of bands. It's like Wizard something.
Oh yeah, Wizard, yeah, Wizard Clan or Wizard Pan or Wizard Fans or Fans of Wizard or I know it's a Witchcraft, which was the big thing there for a while.
Yeah, so it's a nondescript name. We could have been anybody. We could have been anything. I think one of the scripts we had was from Greg and my mutual friend Ian Dower. We played with his band In the Shed. And he's like, oh, these guys are on stage. I thought it was going to be a bunch of skinheads. And all of a sudden the Sunset Strip shows up. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Sunset Strip?
Yeah.
I thought we were like,
because it was the first EP. So we're playing like Sister Midnight.
Yeah. Sister Midnight. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, he's like, I thought you guys were going to be a skinhead band. And then all of a sudden, you're.
That's the beautiful thing though about shows in like New England is you could have been in a skinhead band playing with a punk rock band, playing with a hardcore band, playing with a ska band, playing with a cover band at a lot of the venues. And I don't know if that's still the same nowadays, but a lot of lineups are pretty eclectic when it comes to local bands. I'm talking about the true local band shows, DIY stuff. I'm talking about people still renting out, like fucking halls and American Legions and shit like that. That's where the fun is. That's where all your friends show up and you discover a new band. What was that band? The guy that used to get like half naked and sing in front of everybody.
Gigi Allen.
Well, no, I saw Gigi Allen for like 5 minutes and then walked out the door a long time ago when he started, picking up shit to throw at the crowd. No, there was a guy that was in the I guess I call it like the Altone scene, and I showed up one night and he I can't remember his name, but I remember he came out in like the thing that Borat wears to go to the beach. The main.
Oh yeah.
That might have been the Excrements. I don't know if that's the band name yet.
No, it wasn't that. I will remember that, but he wore that. But he wore regular clothes over it, and then towards the end of the set, he took all of his clothes off with that, and I was like, "Fucking kudos to you," because he was not a skinny dude. If anybody's out there that remembers that shit, I know Charlie and Dwayne were like, "Oh, here we go, clothes are coming off," And he didn't change either. He stayed in the shit for a while. But the point I'm trying to make is eclectic bands like that can play, you know, you can pretty much pick up a show everywhere. I know that Altones is starting to come up with their, what is it, Doom and Brews lineup.
Yeah, that's coming
Which
up.
is, I think Conclave is on that one, and it's starting to shape up really good. And you're going to start seeing more shows like that. You'll start seeing a lot of different bands coming out. Yeah. What is it like up near your neck of the woods though for local bands? Is it a lot of cover bands or is it local like original?
On the South Shore, there's actually starting to be a little bit more of a punk scene.
Cool.
On the South Shore. Some pretty decent cover bands, Faded Halo and Moxie. I'll give a shout out to Bill and Norm on the chat. Local shows, honestly, it's funny, like the Boston scene is a lot of the same guys that I was playing around in bands with back in like 2000.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Roadsaw and Milligram, which is now Kind.
Right.
Have
The Worshipper.
Which was the guys on Roadsaw, the guys in Lamont. Random Road Mother was their singer. So it's a lot of the same guy, Heave Ho. You know, it's a lot of the same similar bands, but we also got like fucking Gozu, you know, which is just like they're a whole.
That's the way to say it too. You have fucking Gozu and Worshipper too. I'm a big fan of Worshipper.
Yeah. No, I remember from Delaware. Yeah, but yeah, like we got like Dave Jarvis with Worshipper, and then we got like Doug Sherman with Gozu, and they're fucking Gozu's singer is like he's a. If you ever get invited, Scissor Fight from New Hampshire.
Don't forget, they never go away. They don't. They go into hibernation, and then Doug and the rest of the crew comes out and brutally destroys everybody in the pit. I'm sure people listening have been to a scissor fight show. If you've never been to a scissor fight show, what can you expect? Well, basically pretty much anything that could possibly cause you bodily harm, blow your ears out, and basically make you sterile for the rest of your life. Yeah. But in a good way.
They used to put on, so like they had a festival, Redneck Fest, back in the day.
Redneck Fest, yep.
And we had Scissor Fight with Iron Lung playing those.
Yeah.
And that was
Big Chris Iron Lung, yeah.
Scissor Fight with Iron Lung was a whole
different world. Oh yeah. Those are good times, man. I saw them. I went to go see like a River Rave or some whatever BCN. Where was BCN out of Boston? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Remember they had River Rave, so they had this big River Rave, and I think at the time, not Dropkick, Mighty Mighty Bosstones were pretty popular. So my wife and I went to the show, and we're making our way through the crowd up to the stage, and I'm like, "Hey, who's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, Kitty is on next," and I was like, I'm not a fan of Kitty. So I start turning around. We're gonna walk back to go to the rides. It was at the old Riverside. I think it was at Riverside. Yeah, Riverside Park. What is that now? Six Flags, right? Isn't that Six Flags?
Oh, yeah. That was it. I think that was AAF because at the time they were playing Ballad of Jack and Macaco quite a bit.
It was. I would have remembered if it was an AAF, but it wasn't. It was like a BCN River Rave, I think, because we made our way to the stage, and they said, "Oh, it's Kitty," and we turned around, we started walking out, and all of a sudden, from behind me, as I'm walking away, I hear, "Yeah, what's up? Kitty died in a car crash, and we are now wearing their skin. We are fucking Scissor Fight, and you're not." And I was like, I did a complete 180 because I had been a fan of them since Balls Deep.
Oh yeah.
And I grabbed my wife and I go, "Let's go." And it was what do you call it? It was New Hampshire. It was New Hampshire. Holy shit.
And they were like right on the cusp.
Right.
They were on the cusp because they were getting huge radio play locally.
Oh, and they did that little thing with
MTV.
MTV picked them up on that. Like, you heard it here first. Shit.
They literally interviewed Iron Lung on his fucking fishing boat.
Yeah, yeah.
We was lobster fishing. He's just like, yeah, you know, we just play rock and roll. I do a lot of jazz.
And all of us are like, it's like, dude, who are you gonna go interview next? Sam Blackchurch? Like,
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna should. That they should have.
yeah, I know.
It's there's been a lot of great. I mean, there's the whole story about like Stompbox back in the day.
Oh God, amazing
If
band.
Stompbox hadn't broken up. If Stompbox hadn't broken up, Maverick would have never signed Deftones.
Right, right. You're absolutely right. And boy, what a great like local band that transcended down to Providence and Connecticut and back up to New Hampshire. I mean, I saw them at Club Babyhead on the No Woods tour. I forget who opened for them, but they slayed. And I just love that singer's voice, man. He was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, it's you know,
Orgasm.
Orgasm was another one. Yep. Shit, what was the other one? No, they were on a compilation, and the bass player is now the bass player, lead singer of like Panzer something. Panzer.
Yeah, Bennett. That's his best friend.
There you go. What's his name?
Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett. Yeah. But what was the band he was in before that?
Wrecking Crew. Bitter.
Wrecking Crew. Oh, dude, total metal hardcore that just gelled with everybody. I saw them play with the Cro-Mags, and they were almost, if not better than them. They were just fucking slayed on stage. It was like Wrecking Crew, Burn, Cro-Mags, and a couple other bands. Leeway might have played, but oh, holy shit, dude.
The other big thing that's around here, and because there used to be a place called Mardi Gras in Cranston, Rhode Island. You go there.
I remember Mardi Gras with the big fish in the front.
You would see Holy Diver. You would see Made in You would see Metal 101. You would see Hellbent for Metal. Both of those bands had Mark Lopes on vocals. Now he's with Boss. You would see every weekend practically. You would see a Trendkill doing the Pantera tributes.
Yep.
And there would be, what's the other one? Dirty Deeds, and my buddies.
Oh, dude, the guys that did the King Diamond one. That guy.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Like, I mean, hands down, looked like him, sounded like him. The effects, the grandmother, everything. And
so the guitar player and the bass player that's in Fatal Portrait, Metal 101.
That's it, Fatal Portrait, yeah.
Trendkill, they're all in all three of those bands. Barry and Tom that play guitar and bass are in all three of those bands, and you'll see them every weekend doing their thing. So that's been a huge thing still throughout the pandemic. All these AC/DC tributes have been playing nonstop throughout this pandemic at local parties, wherever they can fit in. Where we're gonna try to have COVID restrictions, but maybe when you see us on Facebook, there aren't really COVID restrictions on the photos.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see for this year too, you'll see a lot of bands are going to do the fair circuit. You're going to see them doing fairs because it's outside. There's not a ton of restrictions. I mean, you know, I went when I moved down here. It was 2 years ago. I went and saw Crystal Spiders, which is Mike Dean's band, plays bass in Crystal Spiders, and it's Brenna who sings for him. And dude, let me tell you what, man, they were absolutely freaking amazing. They played at where the hell was it? They played at the North Carolina State Fair, and they did 2 sets, and they played at like noon and like 2. It was awesome. It was the greatest show ever because they had seats so I could sit down like an old man, and then they were done by 3 o'clock, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go over to the tent that has fudge, you know?
The big thing is seeing what happens, not so much over the summer, but when it starts to hit fall and winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be.
Because I think what you're going to see is, I think a lot of people, myself included, are going to be super comfortable with just, like Sammy's patio, I think that's even going to be kind of pretty much outside.
Right.
You know, so it's or no. No,
it's a very small building.
Okay, so, but even still, like, you know, I don't know how, I mean, you may see, not necessarily people not
wanting to, but how much state and local regulators are going to want to allow, like, you know, just off the top of my head, like Bright Music Hall, you know, which is like a cavern.
Yeah, or the Sinclair, or
We saw Saxon UFO there, and it was just a sweat box. Wow.
Yeah,
you know, it was a great show, but it was just a sweat box. So it's like Middle East downstairs, where it's just like, it's literally just a petri dish.
oh, it's disgusting. Great shows. I've seen everybody from Into Another to I Hate God to Kingpin to you freaking Weed Eater played there. Buzz Oven, saw the Buzz Oven show when they had 3 guitarists. That was pretty amazing. Guy from Cave In, I think, was with him on guitar there for one little tour till they scared the shit out of him. But yeah, that was like the one thing I loved and hated about that was the location. There was never any good parking, and you had to go downstairs, and everything was dark and wet and gross.
Germs on everything, which is great. It makes for great rock and roll and metal.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see how that plays out, you know, especially with, you get to January and it's like everybody's going from like super cold to like, now you're in, you know, an unfiltered, festering.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's always been that way though. I mean, that's fucking punk rock, you know, that's metal. It's just, you know, we're dirty, filthy, stinky people. Everybody knows it, you know. We're not getting chicks playing at these fucking gigs. You know, there's girls there, but they'll beat the shit out of you and your girlfriend because they're tough and they're gonna throw down and throw, you know, they'll twirl the pizza and pull the lawnmower and pick up the change and beat the shit out of you. You know, that's the way, that's what I grew up on. I didn't go to shows to meet girls. I went to shows to fucking get my frustrations out, you know?
Yeah, no, and the girls were 10 times scarier than the guys all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they can hold their own. They're tough. Yeah, they really like the music like a lot, and you don't fuck with them. Listen, we're in 2 hours here, so we're gonna wrap things up. I've been talking with Eric, as well as Greg, as well as Kenneth, as well as Rob, with 2 B's, right, Rob?
That's correct.
Double B Rob, from Oxblood Forge. The new album comes up and out on June 18th. It's called Decimator. You can check it out on Bandcamp. You go to their Facebook page. Are you guys on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Then we're going to, streaming services will include Spotify, Apple, and what else?
Tidal, Amazon, Rhapsody, and a bunch of other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head. It's wherever DistroKid sends it.
And the physical CD can be bought directly through Bandcamp, correct?
Correct.
And you can check out their Facebook page, and I think that's all of the socials, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oxford Forge.
Oxford Forge, cool.
I don't know.
I'm anxiously awaiting my shirt, Ken. Thank you very much. I heard that you had send one out to me, so I got to be felt and wear it on the job because we can wear whatever we want.
Put the CD in there as well.
You sell a koozie?
I think you got a cozy in there as well.
Oh, cool. So I can drink from my cozy and I can wear my shirt while I'm delivering Amazon. And I tell you what, if I'm rolling in a nice gated community, I'm definitely going to take a couple snapshots for your Facebook page with the Oxblood Forge, you know, with the cozy. I'll create something ravaging someone's lawn sprinkler or whatever, or attacking their bush, but we'll get the word out there. People need to know about you guys. They need to appreciate, you know, good local music that is basically, you know, unfiltered, just straight in your face, has good hooks. And, you know, you guys put a lot of great creativity into creating this album. People need to hear it. So this has been the listening party. This is it. Hey, right on. Thank you everybody out there in YouTube land for tuning in. And we'll do this again. It's Oxblood Forge. It's Decimator. It's June 18th. Check it out. My name is Lord Gates. This has been Oxblood Forge over here. Everybody say good night. Good night.
Thank you, Lord Gates.
Good night, everybody.
Be good, be bad, be something. And remember to listen to the Lord on Rapture Radio, www.raptureradio666.com. Sundays, new episode on Sundays, as well as Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have an app that is exclusive to Android users, and it is on Google Play. Be good, be bad, be something. And I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye, gang.
Good morning, Europe. Thank you.
Good morning, Europe.
Oh, someone.